So the Democrats are whining endlessly about the replacement theory, the evil one that Tucker Carlson keeps mentioning that they believe in, and also seem to promote on a daily basis. So we just go through it and talk them out about it. The fact that they are obsessed with their own replacement theory. And to start it off, this is a premium video, the UK demographic trends, fact versus fiction, because you may remember this was asked of Keir Starmer back when he first became leader, and he panicked and had no idea what to do.
Well, he completely conceded the point.
Yes, he did.
Of course, everyone has a right to their own homelands, but... So, but what, Keir?
He didn't know where to go with that one.
No.
But go and check that out, because that's us going into the discussion that happened in the UK. But in the US, we have this blowing up even more. But we shall start off, if we go to the next one, of Americans are at least noticing what's going on in the UK with our stories. So you have a story here that says why farming in the UK is predominantly white and what's being done to increase diversity. Great replacement is a conspiracy, says the leftists. Too many farmers are white, let's replace them, also leftists.
And just to pause on this a second, right? If the argument is, well, we just want more farmers, the answer is, well, sorry, England is a very ancient and settled land with a very limited amount of land. There is no free land in England that you can just clear out and start settling new farms in. It's not the American frontier. If you wish to have diverse farmers, you are literally going to have to replace the non-diverse ones.
Yeah.
There's just no getting around that.
And also, where does this demand come from?
Yeah.
Leftists just insisting that everyone be brown. Why? I mean, there's no difference, presumably, between the farmer who is white and the farmer who is brown, who do the same farming on the same patch of land. But no, according to the leftists, they must be brown. Why? Well, it just makes them feel better for
Where
some
are
reason.
English farmers supposed to farm if not in England?
They're just not meant to be farmers.
I mean, they were meant.
presumably.
Well, this was something that happened in Kenya. There's a highland area in Kenya that was totally uncultivatable until a bunch of English farmers went there and, you know, had advanced farming techniques. And then in the decolonization process, they were chased out. It just grew back because no one else could farm it. It's like, okay, well, you're not allowed to be farming here, white boy. And it's like, okay, well, where am I meant to farm? England. Oh, you're not allowed to be farming here, white boy. Where the hell am I meant to farm? I guess you're not.
Well, you're not meant to exist, frankly.
It seems to be the message.
The democratic theory about all of this, which is that, well, the whites should just stop existing. And if we go to the next one here, we have the response, because people like Tucker and whatnot have been calling that out endlessly. And, well, they're pretty mad that they're having to own up to their own actions, which has been that you've endlessly promoted that you want white people to just not exist.
I mean, it is your theory.
There are verified checkmarks who made tweets after Buffalo saying that whiteness is a disease and needs to be wiped out. And Twitter was given a report that went against their terms of service, and they decided it didn't. We featured it at the time, saying that if you want to say whiteness is a disease, apparently that's fine in the progressive sphere. That's not even any kinds of calls to violence in the slightest. So you can see MSNBC, as a leftist outlet, are also quite worried that this is kind of getting pinned on them with the fact of they've been promoting it for years.
Because there are all these clips of them saying things like political power is changing because of a replacement of the voter base.
Yeah. So they decided to call on this guy, who was apparently some professional marketing type, and ask his opinion.
We need to get Edward Bernays in
We need to
sell
get
people cigarettes.
How do we sell people our ideology? Because it's that bad. We can't just tell people about it. And in fact, we look like a bunch of lunatics who are trying to replace white people, at least in your own words. So they called on this marketing type, and the marketing type has an opinion, which is just pin it on the Republicans somehow. He doesn't really think that one through, but let's play the clip in which he tries to argue that you should just pin it on them.
This isn't a branding issue. This is a really serious issue. And it's important that people, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, whether it's Liz Cheney or other people who are deeply offended by what's happening with this great replacement theory, the question is, what is the best way to push back on this hatred?
You take this heinous platform and you make the Republicans own it. I want to say it again, make the Republicans own it. Every Republican politician, every Republican candidate, ask them about it. Make it, because they can't run from it because it's part of who they are at this point, as disgusting as that is. But make it the Republican replacement theory. Mainstream it, because this is the way. You have to scare. We don't have the economy on our side as Democrats, so you have to scare the bejesus out of people. The way to scare it is say, this replacement theory, this is not just coming from some dark corner of the web. This is the Republican platform. Make them own it. And the Democrats run from this fistfight. I know in the previous segment, Eugene Daniels, we talked about the president not wanting to call out names. Call out Tucker Carlson. Call out the politicians and make them own it. This is a Republican platform. It's the racist Republican replacement theory.
What What?
How could
nonsense?
it be? Like, they left this forever. We need to replace the whites. Okay, well, the Republicans believe in this. No.
Tucker
like,
Carlson wants to replace you. It's like, what?
That's not going to sound. What are you, a moron? Like, you're going
Build
to
the wall. Oh, that's great replacement theory right there.
like, ask the Republicans what they think of it. The Republican says, "I oppose the left." What do you?
I oppose like mass immigration.
Like, what
You're
do
in
you?
favor of great replacement.
No, I'm not. But also, then the aspect of him just being a what he was hired to do, which is a cigarette salesman.
And I love it. You've just got to scare them. You got to scare them. That's leftist politics. There we go. You know, can't do anything good or decent. No, we're just going to terrify you.
No, we destroyed the economy, so try and terrify them. Like,
But trust us, mate. People are already terrified. The food shortages are coming.
what a weird admission, though. Just openly, yeah, we're basically the party of evil.
Exactly. that's what they're saying.
Right, yeah. Okay, just put it in an advertising clip, I guess. Let's go and take that out. If we go to the next one, we also have continuations of this. So in Europe, we have people like this guy, an absolute meme, and he is defending the idea that no, the right came up with this idea. Come on, look at the Spectator's front cover when Boris Johnson was editor, and look, they're warning about Europe becoming Islamified.
God, imagine Boris Johnson saying something like that now.
Yeah, except it's also again like this isn't something the right demanded, nor were screaming out for. Like, boy, I need more Islam in my 1990s Britain.
I mean, they're not. They're literally saying we don't want this to happen.
Yeah. It's very simple. So the idea that this is a rightist thing is just
The
ridiculous.
fear of it is a rightist thing. The love of it is a leftist thing.
The fear of the left is a right-wing thing. You've got us.
Checkmate. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. If we go to the next one, we also have the obvious fact of just being like, well, look, in the Middle Ages, this wasn't the case. And now it is the case that Western Europe just has a large Islamic population. So, yeah. I
wonder how the Islamic population got into southeastern Europe there.
ancient bloodlines passed down through
It's not
generations
going to
of...
be anything to do with Muslim conquest or anything, is it?
No. This, if we go to the next one as well, there's also just the statement that, of course, wow, come on, the original phrase replacement comes from this gay French socialist. So it's definitely a right-wing conspiracy... Wait. It's not... it's just L after L after L. Like,
Just, what do you do? Eh?
should we read about Renard's?
Yeah, go on then. Let's see
History.
how conservative he is.
His parents removed him from their will after he revealed he was homosexual. At the age of 21, then a socialist, he participated in pro-LGBT marches during the May 1968 events in Paris, which, 1968, homophobia against that, yeah, all good. Camus was a member of the Socialist Party during the 70s and 80s as well. And then in the 90s, he realized that, hang on a second. What if we can't really have the French Commune if they're not French? So maybe we should worry about that.
I mean, that's a point.
Didn't you know that socialism is haram according to the Muslims? And yes, it is, which is why the Iranian Revolution was such a glorious event. Frankly, it's just socialists work with us to get rid of the Shah. Too bad. Not going to happen now.
Just of all the people to say, look at this right winger.
Yeah, so gay French socialist comes up with the phrase, and leftists say, that's a good idea. Let's carry on doing it. And
they have been literally saying that, haven't they?
Yeah, and then right-wingers in the West, well, in the Anglosphere specifically, are like, yeah, the left is promoting this endlessly. There's clips of them saying it. That's a right-wing conspiracy theory. That doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense. Like, you're not following the reality there. And if we go to the next one, we also just have the left's autistic spurging after Buffalo, in which they're, again, frantically trying to distance themselves from replacement theory. You have...
Fichtelstein?
Yeah, some guy being like, white replacement theory is fascism by a new name.
Okay, well then don't do it.
We'll ban the left.
I mean,
if you want us to. If you go to the article itself, he says in here, since Andras Breivik killed 77 people in Norway in 2011, mass murder in the name of white replacement theory has become prevalent. I was like, no, again, from the leftist talking points, it's become prevalent. Like, he didn't make that up. Like, he got it from you guys talking. Orban placed white replacement theory at the center stage of ideology, declaring, quote, I see the great European population exchange as a suicidal attempt to replace the lack of Europeans, Christian children, with adults from other civilizations, migrants.
Oh, he must be a gay French socialist as well.
Yes, I mean his own party has some of them. Do you remember there was the?
I do. Yeah.
There was for people who don't know, there was an MEP in Orban's party who was caught at a gay orgy. But the problem with that was not the gay orgy, of course. It was that he broke lockdown rules, so he had to resign.
Hey man, you know,
It was haram to have gay orgies, not because of being homosexual.
Hungary's own party. Yeah.
I also love how by this guy's standard, Islamists are also fascists, of course, because they're also worried about the fact that if they have mass movements into their countries, then it won't be an Islamist country anymore. So there you have it.
Yeah.
So he says to normalize something is to legitimize it, to make it a topic of legitimate public disagreement. These public figures normalize white replacement theory. It's like, right, hang on. This is what they're genuinely trying to pull, which is that we promoted this for years, and now it's led to it being in the public discord. It makes us look bad.
But not only have they promoted it, they've facilitated mass immigration as a way of making it happen.
But the same thing with critical race theory in schools, or queer theory to the point that Libs of TikTok just has to show videos of the left, and they look ridiculous. Like, here's you guys promoting endlessly that you want to replace white people, or at least saying it publicly, that there's too many white farmers.
I mean, you keep
in
saying
Britain.
it.
And no, it's Orban that did this. And this is obviously just wrong. If we go to the next few links here, we can see, I mean, you featured this, and I've done, which is just We Can Replace Them by the New York Times, an article in which they talk about replacing white voters in Georgia to get Democrats elected.
Yeah.
This is you, guys. Again, this is not Viktor Orban's article.
I mean, you literally called We Can Replace Them.
Yeah, if we go to the next one, we have The Guardian, years ago, being like the last days of the white world. The year 2000, when Viktor Orban was writing for The Guardian, presumably. No, he weren't. No, this is you guys, yet again. If we go to the next one, we have CNN, The Vanishing White American.
Jesus Christ, CNN.
By Viktor Orban.
You sound like you're going to radicalize someone.
It's just pointing out that, for example, in Georgia, you're very happy that the demographics of destiny are now changing. Weird. If we go to the next one, we have White Britons will be in minority by 2066, says Viktor Orban, professor of Oxford University. No, he was not. I love how Viktor Orban, in my mind, now has like 6 jobs all throughout the 2000s.
And he's a bizarre expert on all of this as well. I mean, like, if there's one thing that's happening in Hungary, it's not the replacement of the Hungarians.
No. Hungarian language is still as prevalent as has ever been.
Yes.
And this is not being diluted with, non-Hungarian speakers. Anyone who tries to learn Hungarian just can't. If we go to the next one, we also have, of course, the famous clip of Ash Sarkar just saying, yeah, they're being replaced in London. And,
I mean, she's literally saying it.
Yes, we're winning lads, was her words in response to, as she put it, replacement.
Yes.
Again,
I mean, she's got 600,000 white British down, 1.2 million ethnic minority population up. How is that not a replacement? London is a concrete, determinate area.
Yeah, I just can't
That's
get over
literally what a replacement is.
the attempted switcheroo of, like, this is a right-wing theory. What? Why would it be?
And then she literally is like, we're winning, lads, when she's like, yeah.
Yeah, that is a quote from her.
It's terrible.
We've got the next one here. We also have just how is this playing with average people? How do you think this really works, leftists? Like, I know you're trying and point out or try and say that this is a right-wing thing, but it's not working, because here's an example of a chap who is very funny, but he decided to go out and just ask random people their opinion on this, and then when they said it was a conspiracy theory, just give them clips of left-wing media. And I thought we'd demonstrate their response, so let's play this.
So is the Great Replacement a conspiracy theory, or is it real?
I think it's just a conspiracy theory. But it's a conspiracy theory, but I can see why a white person would think that.
So let's play this video here.
It seems harder and harder to ignore that the echoes of replacement theory and other racially motivated views are increasingly coming out into the open.
In a few years, we're going to be a majority brown country. White people will not be the majority in the country anymore.
This will be the first generation ever in American history in which whites will be a minority of the generation at some point.
As of 2007, every year, babies being born in this country, whites now in the minority.
In 2044, everyone is going to be a minority.
As the demographics change, as white people become the minority in the country, which is coming.
The white population is declining for the first time in history in America, while the number of multiracial Americans have more than doubled.
So we live in a country where the demographics are changing. It's becoming less white.
Correct.
Okay, you'll be announcing that we're calling the 38 electoral votes of Texas for the Democratic nominee for president. It's changing. It's going to become a purple state and then a blue state because of the demographics, because of the population growth.
Growth in Texas has been almost entirely driven by non-white population growth, mostly by Hispanic and Latino
Latino population growth?
No, well, now that it's not a conspiracy theory, but it shouldn't. White people should not look at it that way because I think America is rich enough to be able to support.
We've moved the boundary.
People of multiple ethnicities.
I don't know what that point was at the end.
That's amazing. No, that's incredible. It's like, no, that's not happening. Oh, okay, but you are rich enough to handle it. It's like, yeah, but why should I have to give you any of my money?
But also, what a weird statement that if you have ethnic minorities, essentially you've got to pay for them.
Yeah, you're gonna get poorer. Says this woman.
I mean, it's just unbelievably racist as well. She's just like, yeah, well, people like me, it would cost you money. You can support that. Okay, right. That's
remarkable.
But I just love her face throughout that. As she, this is how it plays, which is you ask average people the thing, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a conspiracy. Then it's like, no, it's just a leftist doctrine. Frankly, it's a leftist strategy for Democratic votes. And so here's the video of them saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, he will turn Texas purple and then blue with demographics.
I'm surprised he didn't have the clip of them saying demographics is destiny.
That wasn't there. It's just too long.
Yeah, it's
I had to
too
cut
long
it down. But if we go to the next one, we just have Tucker as well, who's also been making this obvious point. So we'll play his clip in which he just plays Dems in their own words. I mean, it is like critical race theory. It is their own damn doctrine.
Blue wave is African American. Yeah! It's white, it's Latino, it's Asian Pacific Islander. It is made up of those who've been told that they are not worthy of being here. Yeah! It is comprised of those who are documented and undocumented.
In a couple of presidential cycles, you'll be on election night. You'll be announcing that we're calling the 38 electoral votes of Texas for the Democratic nominee for president.
Look at that
it's changing.
Face.
It's going to become a purple state and then a blue state because of the demographics.
The demographics of America are not on the side of the Republican Party. The new voters in this country are moving away from them. And instead, they're moving to be independents or to even vote on the other side.
An unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
That is a terrifying statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the source of our strength.
Source of our strength is getting rid of people like me.
Foreigners flooding your country so they'll vote for us and not you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. What have we got? We've got gay French socialists describing a leftist doctrine on how to get votes.
But it's just so cynical. It's so cynical. It treats the population of the country as if they're fungible, as if they can just be. We'll just get a new electorate, which is literally what Tucker Carlson said. That's going to replace you with a new electorate because you're not voting for them.
Because the country means nothing to left wingers.
You mean nothing to them.
But it's just the fabric of the whole thing is so irreplaceable to them because it means they have no connection to it. They have no real value of it.
Yeah, they don't care.
Whatsoever. And I also I love the fact there was one article, I didn't include it, in which they were like, this proves that not all ideas from a gay Frenchman are good. And it's just like, no ideas from a Frenchman are good. What are you talking about? It's like, anyway, but we'll skip through these. So
Why would we think that all ideas from a gay Frenchman would be great?
An American apparently wrote this and thought that was an acceptable statement. Just,
amazing.
As an Englishman, I was just like, French. But then we have an individual here who has a verified checkmark, pronouns in the bio, Palestinian flag, trans flag, who is able to do things like this. This is what I find amazing, that this has been popping around for, oh God, as long as I can remember in political life. But you see these maps and they're like, oh my God, look, Palestine's been taken over by...
As she says, there is an actual great replacement.
The Zionist/Israeli controlled, as she puts it there. And there we are, there's the graph, and you can do that, and that's fine. But if we go to the next one, of course, so the next link... This you don't see so much, which it kind of annoyed me, so I thought I'd do it in response to her. There's the same concept applied to London. They have it. I mean,
the green is 50% or more English, the red is less than 50% English, and the dark red is less than 25% English.
You've got the city of London in the middle there with all the rich boys.
Yes.
Being just the last thing in actual London there. I mean, you've got the outskirts of London still being 50% English, but that's it, really. And, well, frankly, they're only part of London because of the boundaries as well. So, yeah, there you have it. There's a map you don't see that often. If we go to the next one here, we can also see articles being put out in response to this, being like, how dare we use science to promote white supremacy from Scientific American.
Data collection.
Yeah, I won't go through this, but essentially they just whine that scientists do research. And
I mean, I whine about that too.
Not acceptable. Do scientists imagine finding that genetic differences in the intelligence of racial groups will be used to drive more school funding to black and brown communities, or as a justification to focus on school funding on white communities? Or we find that genetic differences in prosperity for violence among racial groups will be used to do anything but double down on current over-policing of communities of color. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, actually, if you wanted to look at who commits crime, and then you found the evidence, and then you could use it to stop crime.
We're going to over-police the criminals, Callum.
Yeah, that's the complaint, the evidence there. I mean, if it turned out that white people were over-committing crime
Police
in
the hell
neighborhoods,
out of them.
then you go and police them. It doesn't matter the skin tone. The matter is the amount of crime. But then Scientific American
this is one thing that always comes up. So, well, you wouldn't say that if it was a white kid. And I'm like, yeah, I would.
Yeah, we do worse than Asians.
Yeah.
If you take a neighborhood that's all like Hong Kongers and white boys, the police need to be in the white boys section.
I don't care that they're white. I care that they're committing crimes. Go and deal with them.
Yeah. If we go to the next one as well, we also have some evidence of, they're not sending their best, frankly.
Wow.
And let's play the clip from Voice of Wales here, who are great guys who found this.
Hello.
Hello.
Right. What's your name?
My name is Liliana.
You give me Snapchat?
Yeah, sure.
No.
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
Do you know you're like, how old are you?
You know we're 15.
Yeah, how old are you?
21.
You know we're 15.
Who?
Us.
Oh my, we're 15.
He likes me.
You're 21 and you're asking for our snaps. We're 15.
How old are you? 21? I'm 17.
Yeah, I don't care how old you are.
You're not 17.
Brother, they're young. Walk on, bro. Walk on. They're young girls, brother. Walk on. They're young girls. You're 21, you're asking 15-year-old girls for their stuff. Walk on, bro.
21 my ass.
Yeah.
But also just, there we have it. Fantastic. Didn't used to be very an English attitude to turn up at schools and ask 15-year-olds for their Snapchats, but is these days. Also, we go to the last one here, just the point, which is that change I showed you, at least in London, and the rest of the country in the UK is, of course, skyrocketing as well. So this is a statement from Migration Watch saying the new Home Office visa statistics suggest that around 1 million people were granted entry to come and live in the UK in the last year or so, a huge rise before the pandemic.
During the pandemic, it was 700,000.
Yeah, so
now it's 300,000 more.
The
What
Home
are the
Office
Conservatives doing?
The Home Office say there's a 57% increase on the previous year and a 33% increase on the year before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's insane.
Take back control. Stop immigration. What do? They massively ramped it up. Embarrassing. Yeah, that's the democratic replacement theory, which is a left-wing theory. And the try and switcheroo to say this is a rightist doctrine is like, no, it's not. Like, we literally have you on camera multiple times saying this is your voting strategy. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the Epoch series that's between Bo and John on Henry VI. And if you want to see what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.